Hey guys, avsongbird here. My friend Dailyfix actually just nominated me for answering his 10 questions that he had, up on a list underneath his 150 subscriber videos. And we were actually talking about it while I was watching his video, and he was trying to put in a bet for how long it would take me to do one of these, because if you go through and you watch my vlogs, if you go through and, you read my blogs and my stories, or you watch my videos and stuff on this channel, I can talk about my writing from the beginning of time till the end of time. I can talk about other people forever. I can talk about my family. I can talk about movies, music, video games. My dogs, the growler monkeys back there, those two are funny. When it comes to talking about me and stuff, I've always been really kind of shy. It's why I laugh when I tell people. They go, "Oh, you're outgoing." It's like, no, I'm really not. But it's getting easier as these go along, but I always talk about my writing and everything. I don't really spend a lot of time talking about myself because it's weird. I'm used to not talking about myself. I'm used to being the behind the scenes type that has people come to me all the time when they need help, when they need support with their channels and their stuff and sharing their stuff, or when they're having a hard time and they need someone to talk to. I'm used to being the support group. So yeah, coming out and doing the writing is another thing that's weird, because it's the first time I've actually stepped out away from everything. And I'm rambling, and I'm sorry, but I do that when I'm nervous. And the thought of answering these questions, because they're outright asking, things about me personally that, some of it I really haven't talked about before. So, yeah, I'm nervous, understandably. But Dailyfix, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This is for you, hon. So, yeah, thanks for this. And I'll get you back eventually. But, yeah, thank you for this. I hope I answer the questions, to your satisfaction. So, number one, what made you start doing YouTube videos? I started my blogs back in the middle of May. Just sharing my writing, my poetry, my music, my stories, my drabbles, my thoughts. And a couple of readers came across me and asked me if I'd ever thought about doing like an audiobook version of my stuff for people that don't stop and read, that don't have the time, not that can't read, but that don't have the time to sit down and find blogs and read them and stuff, if I ever thought about doing it in like a reading MP3 or like a video format. So, and my mom was one of them, and I laugh because that's why I started the YouTube. I'd always been a creeper, hanging out, watching people's videos, had the YouTube to do that, but that was when I made my first vlog, was people said they wanted to see the person behind the work, behind the words, and they wanted to see what it was like to have me read my own stuff on there, just to give them my spin on it, and at the end discuss what the work meant to me and what I saw it as. So that was what made me start doing YouTube videos, and I've written since I was 8 years old, and most of my work, the majority of my work, hundreds of stories and thousands of pages. I've written children's books, I've written scary stories, I've written so many stories over the years, and poetry and songs. I've got a songbook that thick of lyrics, but I've never really had much of a chance to share it with anyone. So the YouTube and the blogs were kind of my way of putting my foot in the pond, because one of my dreams has always been to see one of my stories out there, to see it in book form, because all I ever wanted to be in my life was a writer. It's all I ever wanted. I didn't want the big house on the hill. I didn't want, a vacation home in the Hamptons. I didn't want a lot of diamonds or jewelry. I wanted to be a writer, and I wanted to be a mom and a wife. Those were my life goals. And I'm married now. I'm a stepmom. I want to see, and the thought of doing that scares me. So getting out there and sharing my work with other people, because the thought of, So sharing it with people and getting out there and putting it out there like that and having people get back to me one-on-one and tell me what they think of the work and what they'd like to see and where they think the stories are going is really bolstering my confidence, which was part of the problem, my lacking confidence in what I do. And people are starting to sign up and people are reading my work and stuff, and it's so much fun meeting other people on YouTube and getting out there and getting to work with other people. So that was why I started it, and that's what it's turning into, so I'm excited. And I'm sorry I rambled, but you guys know me, I do that, I'm sorry. I hope that answered your question. Number 2, what's your favorite game genre? I've been a gamer all my life, and I laugh because I love survival strategy games. Games where they dump you in the middle of nowhere with nothing, you know, and you have to learn how to make it on your own, where you start from nothing and it's up to you to figure out what you need to do to get to the next level. You know, I love mind games, you know. I have been addicted to The Sims since the first Sims. I love Sim City. I'm addicted to Minecraft. Oh my God, it's so much fun being dropped off in the middle of nowhere and they're going, okay, you have nothing on you, you have till dark, and then everything's going to come from everywhere to kill you. Go. I love games like that, you know? Just games where you have to survive and where other people can come and interconnect with you and survive. And look, I painted my nails, I'm sorry. But in case anyone noticed, I've never done that on vid before. But I love those kind of games, and I love horror games. Talking about survival. I love horror games, but I'm kind of a wuss right now, partly because I can't, monetarily I can't afford, you know, the games right now. I'd love to buy some, there's some I'd love to get. But I'm mainly trolling around YouTube watching people play horror games because I love horror movies. I love zombies, you know, stuff like that. So watching other people play survival games and games that scare the crap out of you, I love those. I hope that answered your question. Question number 3, what do you do in your free time? I don't have a whole lot of free time. You know, I have 3 stepsons. I have 4 dogs. I have a husband and an acre garden. You know, I write stories, poems, songs. I write drabbles. I crochet scarves, and I make blankets, and I make pot holders, and I love to crochet. It's so relaxing. Mainly writing. I love to read. I hop up on my treadmill and run. When I have writer's block, I love that because now that I'm getting back into my running training, it always helped me to get through any problems where I was just mentally stuck, especially writer's block or any problem in my life. I'd hop up on the treadmill and run till I thought it through. I love to travel. I love to swim. I love to go to the beach, the mountains. I love camping. I love doing new things. I love new adventures. I love roller coasters and going to Six Flags and scaring the crap out of myself because I'm terrified of heights. I'm terrified of heights. Like, there is no better way to put that. You get me on a roller coaster, my husband laughs, because on the first hill, it could have been a ride I've ridden 500 times. I still get on the ride and I still trip out before you go up the first hill. When you're going up the first hill and the ride's going click, 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 and you're sitting there having mental heart attacks. You're picturing yourself, you know, like Final Destination, you know, all the horrible things that could go wrong and will go wrong. And with my imagination, I'm imagining everything. But after I get past that first hill, I'm fine. So I love roller coasters. I love spending time with my dogs, spending time with my family. I love spending time with friends, going out and geeking out and having fun, you know, playing video games. I love a lot of things. I have so many hobbies and no time to do them because between everything, you know, with everything keeping me busy and whatnot, I'm lucky to get in the time to write and run. So I have a lot of hobbies. Game world versus real world is question number 4. Real world most of the time, like when things are going on, but when it gets quiet and when you know, you get your routine down and your life is like lather, rinse, repeat, lather, rinse, repeat. When your life gets into the rut, I'd say game world. And when I'm done with my chores and my house stuff and my family stuff and everything, even when it's not game world, fantasy world, because I've spent most of my life living in my head with my stories and everything I've got going on, and I really have an imagination up here. And I laugh because I can't turn it off. I'll be sitting there and all of a sudden I'll zone out and people think I'm being rude, and it's like, no, really, I'm just in my head and I need to work through this scene right now. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be rude, but it always bothered me that I couldn't share that with people, that people couldn't see what I can see in my head and the worlds and everything. And most of the time, just because there's limitations in the real world, you know, you're so judged in the real world and what goes on here and everything. It just makes it hard. And this video is running long, so I'm going to try to be quick on the other answers. I'm so sorry. How would you describe yourself is question 5. Housewife, writer, Pisces, old-fashioned, romantic, free-spirited, creative, imaginative, I don't know if I said that, smart-ass, sarcastic, kind of twisted, romantic, loyal to a fault, honest, love to cook, love to eat. Sorry, my stepson let the dogs in. But, animal lover, people lover type person. I'm the kind of person that if a friend calls me at 3 in the morning and they're having a bad time and they need someone to talk to and they want to come over, eat ice cream, and cry, I'm that kind of person. You know, I've done that for friends more often than I could count, but I'm a warm person, a family person, a loving person. I'm the type of person, you know? I tried always to be the type of person I'd want to be friends with, because that's not ego talking. I'm a humble type person, but I've always tried to be a good person, you know, and I've always tried to push people to follow their dreams and to inspire people, and that's just the way I am. It always has been. I love to see people light up with their passions and to see them explore them and to see them excited and see them reach their goals and to know that I helped, even if they don't say anything about me doing it, just to know that I'm making a difference. I'm that kind of person, the behind the scenes person that's working my ass off. What do you do for a living? Everything. Short answer, right? Short answer, I'm a housewife. I'm a stepmom, so yeah, I'm at home 99.9999% of the time. Housewife. Amateur writer, hoping one day to shed the amateur and, you know, make a life out of it. Which country do you want to see? Actually, this is funny. I traced back my family tree, and so did my uncle, but we traced them back separately, and we both, you know, traced it back quite a bit. And in this, I think it's the 1700s, I traced my family tree back to Ireland, and my uncle actually found the ship's manifest for where they sailed out from, and I'm half Irish and I'm Native American, and I've always wanted to go to Ireland and to see it just once in my life. Maybe go do a tour of the countryside and go around to all the little pubs and stop off with my husband and have a beer in the pubs and talk to the locals, you know, and I've always wanted to go to Ireland. That was always one place I wanted to see. And no, it's not a country specifically, this other one besides it. I've always wanted to go to London. Just to go spend time in London, just to say I'd been there. But if there was one country I could go visit, I would definitely say Ireland, because I've always wanted to go, you know? What type of car do you fancy? One with wheels and an engine that works? I love road tripping. I love car trips and traveling. I'm the type of girl, I could wake up first thing in the morning with no plan and throw a cooler in the back full of sandwiches and bottled water with a bag of clothes and take off for a week with my husband if he wanted, you know, and be happy. And I wouldn't care what kind of car it was, just as long as it got us from A to B to C to A to B to C, you know. My husband loves Fords and I love his truck, but Something with good gas mileage, you know, that's got a lot of storage space. Yeah, I'm a stepmom. I have to think about that. With 4 dogs and 3 stepkids, so I have to think about space, unfortunately. But yeah, that's... If it were just for me, between us, just for the power behind it, I love old Mustangs. And just because there's nothing like an old Mustang. You know, the 60s Mustangs, back before they changed the body style. I love the old ones just because I love old cars. My mom has a old Chevy that's incredible, and it's gonna sound funny because I come from people that aren't big city people, and I've always been proud of that. You know, I'm not a city chick. You know, I run around barefoot in the dirt, dang it. But I love old Ford pickup trucks. You know, driving out and laying a blanket in the back and staring up at the stars. You know, listening to the crickets, and just, I love old Ford pickups, and you can go off-roading in them and just bounce around, and you know darn well that truck's going to be good afterwards, you know. I love old trucks, and I always have, and I know that's funny, but I always wanted to have one. So yeah, maybe one day. By the time I get one, the new trucks will be the old trucks, so yeah. 9, what kind of movie genre do you like? I love horror movies a lot. I've loved them since I was little. The first horror movie I ever saw was the black and white version of The Night of the Living Dead. I was itty bitty, you know. I don't remember how old I was, but I know I was itty bitty. And then I saw all the Jaws ones, and then I saw Poltergeist that scared the crap out of me. Don't watch the remake, watch the original because it was awesome. But I love horror movies. I love movies that are creative, movies that are imaginative, that have a strong story behind them, that are character driven. I love fantasy. I love sci-fi. I love action adventure. I love so many different types of movies, but being a writer, you know, if the story's there, the story's strong. I'll watch a lot of things, you know, but the story's got to be there and strong for it to catch me. If it catches my imagination, then I'll sit through almost anything. Question 10. When you're stranded on an island, what would you take with you? One item. I laughed because I read this, and my husband is a logical type of person. He was standing with me when I first read this question, and I asked him, well, honey, what would you take with you? You know, and he goes, I would take a satellite phone that could call and get calls from any number on the planet successfully. And I'm going, I was going to say a Leatherman or duct tape. You know, thinking tropical island like Tom Hanks' Castaway, going, I have food, I have water, I just need, you know, to be able to survive, build my structure. My husband said satellite phone can reach any number, and I'm going, that's a good answer. So I'm going to snipe his answer and say satellite phone with a number, just in case I ever wanted to come back to civilization. You know, and worry about building my structure and doing my tools and having my little condo on the beach with my little straw and my umbrella and my little coconut thing. If I ever get bored of that, I'll get on the phone and call and come back to civilization. Until then, I could have my little condo, and if any of you want to join me on the beach condo, come on, build a wing on and let's party. But yeah, this is my longest video ever. I'm so sorry, but I hope I answered the questions the way you wanted me to, and I'm going to let you guys go because it's almost 20 minutes. This has been AV Songbird. Bye, guys.